Hey everyone, Roblox stock is crashing more than 20% after the company released its quarterly investor update. I'll review that update and identify the reason why the stock price is down by so much. I'll discuss a little bit in detail about the unique nature of Roblox's accounting method that kind of distorts the bottom line for Roblox. And then I'll update my recommendation for Roblox stock coming into the quarter. I did not have Roblox stock rated as a buy. I told investors not to buy. And you're going to want to see if I'm changing that recommendation upwards or downwards. So let's start with the earnings.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, so Roblox noting that they have two financial goals longer term. That is revenue growth of 20% or more year over year all the way through 2027, and margin and cash flow improvements based on operating leverage and reductions in capital expenditures. Now, I'll highlight one interesting thing about Roblox business model. It's free to join the Roblox platform and it has tens of millions of daily active users. I'll go over that in more detail later. But you can also spend money on the Roblox platform. Players can purchase Robux and use that money for premium experiences not available to the free players. Those premium experiences are not created by Roblox. Roblox outsources that to third-party developers. Those developers only get paid if they create experiences that generate revenue. So they're on sort of like a commission basis. They only get paid on commission. If they create something that gets people to spend Robux, then they'll get a percentage of that spending. If their creations generate zero Robux, then they won't get paid anything. I like that business model. It de-risks the business and it makes developers earn their salary, right? If you have them employed within your organization, these developers can generate salaries upwards of $100,000 or $200,000 a year, and maybe they will develop something that generates revenue. Maybe they won't. It's risky. But if you outsource it and they only get to live off of their creations that make money, they're going to be more incentivized to create interesting items that generate revenue. So I like that business model. So moving on here, their net cash and cash equivalents provided by operations came in at 239 million in the first quarter, and that was up by 37% year over year. Free cash flow of 191 million in Q1 was also a record and up 133% year over year. In fact, they generated 50% more free cash flow in Q1 than in all of 2023. So great progress on the free cash flow front for Roblox. Now, you'll probably hear a lot of investors talk about how much money Roblox is losing on the bottom line. Their net profit is significantly negative. I'm going to tell you to ignore that metric for Roblox. And I don't usually do that for any company that I'm following except for Roblox. And I'll talk a little bit more in detail about that and why I suggest that a little later on in the video. So I mentioned daily active users, 77.7 million daily active users on the Roblox platform. That was up by 17% year over year. Solid growth in that metric. Hours engaged were up by 15%. Revenue was up by 22%. Bookings. Now, here's where I'll discuss why I tell investors to ignore the bottom line metric. Bookings is where Roblox accounts for people depositing money on the Roblox platform. So I mentioned it's free to join, right? But players, if they want to buy premium experiences, they'll purchase $100 in Robux or $20 in Robux, whatever the case might be. So when a player puts $100 in Robux, in cash, that $100, Roblox does not account for that as revenue when it's deposited. Revenue is generated over a 24-month period for Roblox. So it spreads out that $100 deposit over 24 months. And usually I say that is a reasonable way to recognize revenue for most businesses that generate on this type of business model. But I don't think that's accurate for Roblox. I think that's way too conservative because players that deposit money on the Roblox platform, I don't generally think it takes 24 months to spend those Robux. If your kids are anything like my kids, that Robux that goes into the platform is gone within a week at most. And you could tell me in the comment section below if your kids make that $10 or $20 deposit last longer than a week. Okay. So this isn't like some magazine subscription that people get over a year, and okay, it's reasonable to spread out your revenue recognition over a year. I think this accounting metric or this accounting policy doesn't match well with the fundamental way that players use their Robux on the platform. I wouldn't be surprised if this changes at some point in the future, but for now, this is how Roblox accounts for the deposits, and that's why I say that net income is not an informative metric for Roblox as a business. So their 19% year over year increase in bookings, those are the deposits that go in and eventually turn into revenue. That was within their guidance range of 910 and 940 million. And of course, Roblox has a pristine balance sheet with 2.4 billion in cash and short-term investments net of debt. So even after accounting for its debt, it still has $2.4 billion in cash left over. So I highlighted earlier that Roblox makes money when players deposit on the platform, but the vast majority of their players, and the last time I saw this metric was in 2023, where it was like less than 1 million out of the 60 million users it had were actually depositing money on the platform. So like over 99% of the players on the platform are not getting monetized. Well, that serves really well for an ad-supported business model. And finally, after talking about it for a very long time, on May 1st, they announced video ads would become available to all advertisers through their ads manager and soon through other partners. And they've been testing video ads, and the early results are promising. I think this is going to unlock a huge opportunity for Roblox to monetize the vast majority of players who will never deposit money on the platform. And advertising is the only way to monetize the vast majority of their players. So I'm looking forward to see Roblox roll out an ad-supported service, a premium ad product, and generate more of their revenue from advertising than they do from bookings. I wouldn't be surprised if over the next 3 to 5 years, if Roblox generates more revenue from advertising than it does through the player bookings and player deposits and player spending. Okay, so here is why Roblox stock price is crashing. They lowered their bookings expectations. They lowered the deposit expectations from players because of the slower start to the year. So they said despite lowering their expectations by approximately 4% for the full year versus their prior expectations, they're going to manage their costs and capex, and they believe they can deliver the same amount of free cash flow that they guided last quarter. So even though their players are not depositing as much money as they thought, Roblox thinks that it can adjust its expenses and still generate the same amount of cash flow. So that's good news for Roblox stock investors. So for the full year, they're still forecasting robust cash flow and free cash flow. Cash flow from operations for 2024 are expected to be about 560 million at the midpoint, and then free cash flow is expected to be about 385 million at the midpoint, while bookings will be between 4 billion and 4.1 billion. So the reason the stock price fell is because this bookings forecast is less than what they gave the previous quarter. So they decreased this bookings forecast. The year is going worse than expected for Roblox. I mentioned that I did not have Roblox stock rated as a buy. I had it rated as a hold or market perform. And I mentioned that I did not have Roblox. Even after this stock price has fallen from $40 per share down to $31 per share, it's still trading at a forward price to sales of 3.9, and it's, when measured by a price to free cash flow, it's also looking a bit expensive. So I would keep this. I'm keeping this stock rated as a hold for now. I'm waiting to see more progress on their advertising product. That's what I'm most excited about with Roblox. That's, I think, the biggest catalyst for Roblox going forward, because the vast majority of their players will never deposit money on the platform. So if I see good progress from their ad support, I might upgrade this stock later this year. If you liked the video you just saw and you want to see more just like it, please subscribe to the channel. I can't keep this channel free without the support of viewers like you. And if you're already subscribed, thank you, and I appreciate your support.